This shir is in memory of Sarah Rivka Bas Harab Nachman Umindal, Sarah Lamdrach. The Perek we will be doing, Kuf Chav Tes, gives a sense of uplifting and praise to Hashem for being victorious over Israel's enemies. The first 4 psukim are written in the past tense and discuss physical victories against physical persecutions. I will read the first 2 psukim together. Shir Hamalos Rabas Turaruni Minurai Yomar Na Yisrael Rabas Turaruni Minurai Gamlo Yochlu. A song of ascents. Much have they distressed me since my youth, let Israel declare now. Much have they distressed me since my youth, but they have never conquered me. The author of the Perek uses a literary repetition to compare and contrast conflicting emotions that arise from our persecutions. On the one hand, we respond with Yomar Na Yisrael, which we said in Perek Kuf Chav Daled, to convey our sense of terror and helplessness that comes from the danger that we are in. On the other hand, that sense of danger leads to an even greater sense of gratitude when it has passed, and we can say Gam lo yochlu li, no nation of the world can eliminate us. The Sefer Mikdash Ma'at notes that the term minurai from our youth is meant to convey a sense of maturing process that we undergo over the course of history as we face new challenges, beginning with Egypt. A mashal is used in the 3rd pasuk to convey the perspective of our national consciousness of these persecutions. Now the 3rd pasuk. Al gabi charshu charshim harichu li limani sam. On my back they plowed plowings. They lengthened their furrow. A different sort of repetition is used in this verse. The Radak notes that the double language is meant to convey a sense of the cumulative impact of the persecutions. He uses a mashal to an ox which has been worked by numerous users to plow independently owned fields consecutively. Ultimately, the strain of the torment causes the ox to collapse. This would naturally be the Jews' fate if not for the interference from Hashem, hence the sense of gratitude we experience in verse Daled. Hashem tzaddik ki tzetz avos rishayim. Hashem is righteous. He cut the ropes of the wicked. The tense of the pasuk is important to the Radak. The pasuk should be read to imply that Hashem is or will be righteous because he ended our persecutions. Hence it being in the future, or at least in the present tense. Rather, Hashem is already inherently righteous, therefore, in the way it's written in our pasuk, namely in the past tense. And we say he has said that he has said he will free us in the future. Not only do we feel a sense of uplifting gratitude from having lifted us up, however, we are also confident in the righteousness of the world, namely that Hashem is inherently tzaddik, and our positions that the evil embodied in whatever virulent oppressions we encounter, whatever the yoke is, will be eliminated by Hashem. The tone is now set for a segue into a different sort of victory, discussed in the concluding half of the Perek. So these next 4 psukim are written in the future tense and discuss the ideological fall of the enemies of the Jews. Yevoshev yisoguk achor kosone Tzion. Let them be ashamed and turn back, all who hate Zion. The Radak notes that experience has shown that the nations of the world do not actually hate Zion itself. In fact, it seems like much of history is sort of a king of the mountain game, where the nations of the world actually battle each other for sovereignty over Zion, namely the land. So obviously they like it. The pasuk, though, is referring to hatred of Zion as the symbol of Judaism. Therefore, he notes that the turning back we are referring to is a reversal of our enemy's own ideology. The next pasuk returns to the mashal that was being used before. You kechatzir gagos she kadmash sha'aluf yavesh. Sha'alaf yavesh. Let them be like the grass on on rooftops, which even before it is plucked withers. The grass, which is the yield of the plowing, represents the underlying outlook that motivates our enemies to persecute us. The Malbim notes that grass which grows on a rooftop is inherently inferior. Perhaps this is alluded to when this pasuk and the previous one use two words that are very similar, yevoshu and yavesh, drying and embarrassment, respectively. The embarrassment comes from the inherent inferiority of the ideology. The Malbim notes that this embarrassment is catalyzed by the actions of Hashem, whose punishments expose the faults in a regime like the sun on the proverbial faulty grass. The yield or impact of that faulty ideology grants the anti-Semitic plower is discussed in the next pasuk. Shilo mile kapo kotzer v'chitznom ma'amer, with which the reaper cannot fill his hand, nor the binder of sheaves his arm. The important point is that whatever meager yield the anti-Semite does manage to gather will provide no personal benefit or have any lasting impact. The last verse represents the final evidence of our enemy's defeat, the judgment of third parties. V'lo amru ha'ovrim birkas Hashem aleichem, berachnu eschem b'shem Hashem, and of which passerby have never said Hashem's blessing to you. We bless you in the name of Hashem. Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch notes that the standard by which national success is measured is where the nation has the blessing of Hashem. At least according to this pasuk, there have never been many nations who have had upper political class members that have. There have been many nations who have had an upper political class members that have also accumulated significant wealth. However, a look at their culture has left doubt as to whether God would choose to bless them. We instinctively view these cultures as being akin to third world countries, regardless of individual cases of wealth. Therefore, these societies, in all intellectual honesty, cannot receive approval. Ibn Ezra notes that what is meant to uplift us in the second section is the knowledge that our own outlook, our proverbial grass, is not defective. Therefore, unlike our persecutors, we are producing healthy crops through our Torah. The rest of the world will recognize that its quality brings Hashem's blessing upon us.